So now that that's out of the way, I've stumbled upon a video of them interacting with guns. I did not spoil myself for this video. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm interested. I didn't prime myself, and it's only 5 minutes, so hopefully we'll have a hearty belly laugh. This is from, yeah, 10 years ago. So let's couch that. The Try Guys, exactly. They self-identify as guys. Okay, like in all honesty, that's not a bad reaction to shooting a non-gas operated shotgun for the first time, even if it's birdshot, which it probably is. Like he stayed on his feet. It's okay. Like those things are fucking stout.
I don't like guns at
I can tell.
all. I don't have a negative opinion about guns. I do have negative opinions about people.
I've been invited to a gun range before with friends, and I've said no, and I've just sat in the car outside of the gun range while they shot guns.
I'm an Eagles.
You sure look like the exact guy to do that. Just to passive aggressively sit in the car as a form of protest against the fun thing that people have decided to do and you disagree with for literally no reason at all.
I was raised in the South. I've shot a lot of guns.
22 rifle, 10 gauge shotgun, 12 gauge shotgun, Desert Eagle.
We need guns. He needs to know how to use it. Yeah, it is. Knowing how to use a firearm is one of those sort of foundational skills, along with fundamental striking and knowing how to use power tools. Like, you're just not ready for real life if you don't have those skills. And if you can if you can live life without those skills, it means that you are extremely sheltered and privileged. Going to tell you an epiphany you've had? Hell yeah. Remember, kids, keep a gun within reach at all time. Yeah, that's what I preach consistently. So recently you became a hair's breadth away from a hate crime in broad daylight while walking in one of the parks you used to use. Okay. Crash Gamer, why would you commit a hate crime? You don't strike me as a hateful kind of guy. Maybe you appreciate the importance of concealed carry because while you're clearly still alive, those guys could have actually pulled up on you, done literally anything while you're unarmed in the middle of the park. Yeah, it's good that you had that realization without the threat actually materializing. That is why I always preach have a gun within reach, okay? Like my concealed carry is within reach of me. It's inside of my concealed carry fanny pack that I very much enjoyed tuning up on stream. You weren't the one committing the hate crime? I see. Had two separate instances where a single alternate action would have resulted in dead people. You need to just get back to Texas. You need to, yeah, run, don't walk back to the safety of Texas and our self-defense laws. Oh, by the way, we're getting national reciprocity soon, boys, one way or another. California, I think, they are inevitably on the path for having non-resident permits. Granted, the permitting process is as ridiculous as all things Californian are, but if the permitting process is approved, rather is active, and federal reciprocity by that time is not, I may just go through the trouble of getting a California concealed carry permit just to flex on the Californians, I guess.
And another type of handgun that I don't remember.
Who are you?
It was my bachelor party.
What?
And
Wait, what the fuck?
22 rifle, 10 gauge shotgun, 12 gauge shotgun.
10 gauge is kind of cool. Okay.
Desert Eagle, and another type of handgun that I don't remember.
So you grew up in the South, but you shot like 5 different guns? That's not a flex, my guy. Like you are very obviously the odd one out of the entire South. Like I've moved to the South as an adult and I've shot more different guns. Let me try to recall the guns that I've shot recently. You have my Benelli, I have my primary rifle, my MCX, I have my Glock naturally. I've shot P365s, I've shot the P365 SAS variant for that's worth. I've shot Springfield Prodigies, several types of Glocks, the 357 Magnum revolver, the Keltec cocaine shotgun, the fucking a Henry lever action, a full auto Mark 18, a full auto MPX, a full auto MCX Spear, I think I've shot an M80 SOT recently. I've shot the AK. I'm already like doing circles around this guy. First thing you'll do is order a spare 30 round magazine through the mail. Then make a herb garden. Nice. 30 round magazine. What do we have 30 round magazine? A spate of 30 round magazines, excuse me. I need to buy more Lancer mags.
Who are
It was
you?
my bachelor party.
I need to check your local gun laws. Yeah, you should check your local. You should be very aware of your local gun laws and the gun laws of any areas you enter with a gun. You're very pro-gun at first. They were somewhat indifferent while appreciating their importance. Now you're definitely pro-gun, especially for the necessity for self-defense. We never know what unhinged prick or group of shitstains will approach you with malicious intent. I'll remind you that we still have roaming gangs of Venezuelan quote-unquote children roaming New York. We've covered this one on this channel, but there was a guy who was almost robbed at gunpoint in Texas by 5 teenagers, resulting in one of those teenagers getting ventilated. So yeah, get a gun. Only touched an M4, you wouldn't mind improving your proficiency. To quote a ranger buddy of mine, Uncle Sam taught me to shoot wrong, and then I had to learn all over again. So yeah, like whatever the guard taught you, I'm afraid it's not great. You have a lot more opportunities and a lot more resources to train as a civilian, and I strongly advise that you make use of those. Start with a handgun. Rifles are expensive. Rifles um, are an important tool that fill an important niche. Based. I need to bring back the meme frames whenever I get around to sitting down and doing those. What was I saying? Right, so I would start with a handgun. That's how I started. Like my first gun that I bought for myself was a concealed carry handgun. So go to a range, rent some handguns. Glock, you can never go wrong with Glocks. People will bitch and moan about them, but realistically, it's usually people who don't train, therefore they don't shoot well, and they have to justify their lack of results by Glock's allegedly being a bad gun, but it's not. It's a reason why it's the most popular semi-auto handgun in the world. So I have a relatively slimmer waist. Thank you very much. So I have trouble concealing anything bigger than a 43X. Like a 19 would be awkward to conceal if I'm not wearing a hoodie. Since I don't like to dress around my guns too much, that's why I carry a subcompact. But depending on how you normally dress and like your body geometry, your anthropomorphy, you may get away with a Glock 19 or a similarly sized handgun. But what was I saying? Yes. So the thing is that it's important to maintain. I wouldn't even say parity. It's important to be, as a man, it is incumbent upon you to be the bulwark of security for yourself and the people in your life. That means that it is incumbent upon you to equip yourself with the best tools possible in order to achieve that, which means that you need to A, be trained in fundamental fighting, you need to understand striking, you need to understand grappling, and that also means that you need to have the most efficient tool for the job available to you because your opposition is also very likely to be armed with the best weapon that is going to be available to them because they're trying to maximize their rate of success while not necessarily following the laws. Your range stuff while you were in wasn't consistent, especially since your support MOS. Want to go to civilian range, train more practically? Yeah, I mean, indoor ranges are a good starting point. So, and usually indoor ranges have at least the bare bones of what you need, so you can touch all over a bunch of handguns. A lot of them will have like your standard pattern ARs, they'll have PDWs, so you can play around with a lot of shit. Like before I bought my MCX, I put some rounds through an MPX just to get a feel for it. Wasn't a fan of the proprietary mags, and 9mm while being a fine round to use for just everyday concealed carry, for a home invasion scenario, I prefer something with a little bit more temporary and permanent cavitation. But I digress.
What?
Get a gun.
I shot an arrow.
Let me actually look this one up for you, real quick. Once you get around to actually buying a gun, let me just direct you to my favorite bargain bin of the internet, Palmetto State Armory. Like, at first, the memes of Poverty State Armory put me off, and I realized in retrospect that was fucking dumb. Glock? Yeah, let's go for 19 as like a good medium. Unironically, I may be eventually buying a Glock 19 to pimp it out into like a full service pistol kind of thing. Like, give it a nice red dot, give it a comp, some stendo mags. Don't go for the gimmick shit. It's entirely unnecessary. There you go. Less than $600. Ranger green, battlefield green, excuse me. Glock 19 Gen 5. Go for the later gens. I don't know. People are sticklers for some of the features of the older ones. I don't think that's necessary. I think Gen 5 is great because the Gen 5 triggers are better. The drop safety is better on later generation Glocks because they have the triple safety, like the little trigger safety, the disconnector, and then the actual like blocking pin in front of the striker. And this is like we're not currently on any kind of, okay, President's Day sale, sure, but basically whenever there's a retail holiday, especially Black Friday, go to Palmetto State Armory and look through the deals section and just look for a Glock, and you'll very likely find one for way under normal retail pricing. What's here on the... See, President's Day is not really a major consumer holiday, so our options are going to be limited. Oh, there are Glocks there. Okay, Springfield Armory, though. Springfield XD Mod 3? I don't know about that. I don't have an opinion about this. There's a new Ruger Magpul collab pistol. See, like I want to like Ruger. It's important to support American brands, but I feel like the best starting point. See, there you go, bronze battle flag slide for $500. Gen 5 Glock 19 with a swanky little slide. The kind of slide customization that is unlikely to get you harsher prosecution. It's a whole fucking separate bag of worms. I'm not going to get into it. But make sure to thrift shop, basically. Also, your other option, find your local FFL, because they will frequently have access to your local PD's trade-in guns. They're service handguns that realistically haven't seen that many rounds through them. And you can usually get them for way under MSRP. Like, for example, our local PD sold off their P320s. Don't carry a P320. It's just an example of what they sold. Jesus fucking Christ, never touch, never buy a P320, please. It is a handgun that is it is designed for tragedy. I don't care how good the QC now is. It is just a faulty design. Never fucking engage with it, please. But the point is, you could have gotten a lightly used P320 for something like $300. It's ridiculously cheap. So look for a local FFL that does LE trade-in stuff, and just wait for them to offload their duty Glocks. And there you go. You're gonna get a serviceable Glock for pennies on the dollar. I think Chappell got his Glock 19 that way, and he paid something like $200 for it.
Once I question why, as a society, we consider guns masculine.
It's like a James Bond thing, and he's like a cool, sexy guy, and I'm a...
Well, I've just explained it, because it is incumbent upon men to be enforcers of order and to be the source of safety for the people around them. Therefore, a mastery in all things that relate to weaponry is conventionally a skill that is expected of a fully developed man who is participating in society and fulfilling his role as a man in society.
A cool, sexy guy.
They keep talking about James Bond. Keith will not shut up about tuxes.
We dress like James Bond.
Tuxedos kind of go hard if you're not forced to wear them. These guys obviously weren't raised well, not sure if fatherless or if their fathers got divorced. Given that it's California, both are likely.
It's not real, somehow.
These are military-grade weapons whose only purpose is to kill people.
These are not military-grade weapons because they lack a select fire function. You're also in California, so you're not even allowed to have an AR that you can grip properly.
Kill a lot of people very fast, very effectively.
No, that is literally the purpose of no weapon whatsoever. Even the saw is not designed to do that. The only thing that is designed to do that is ordnance. Any kind of small arms is strictly designed to kill the person in front of you as effectively as possible, depending on the specific threat that they present. Oh shit, that's going to be another tangent, isn't it? So, silence Democrat. I was watching a Ready or Not lore video, please don't ask why, and the commentator, obviously someone who has acquired student debt in order to get a degree in film studies or some useless shit like that. So while he's unemployed, he's making pretty okay lore videos, I must say. And in one of those, he was commenting on the mission where some good old country boys in Los Angeles were 3D printing auto seers. And he's like, oh, they were converting semi-auto weapons into automatic weapons designed to kill as many people as possible. I hate that fucking quip. First of all, because it is obnoxious. Second of all, it's a fucking lie. Thank you for the hydrate, Crispian. Full auto weapons are not designed to kill as many people as possible, quote unquote. Full auto weapons have two very distinct functions. A is to lay down suppressive fire and create areas of denial for the enemy, thus limiting their movement. Or B, to stop a single target in front of you as fast as possible with consistent follow-up shots. That is it. That is why full auto is a thing. Because if anything, if we're going off of an AR pattern rifle with the cool guy position, it's most likely equipped with a 30-round magazine. 40 if you want to be very extra and you run one of those cool Magpul magazines. Like when you're engaging a single target with a burst, you are very likely going to burst somewhere between 5 to 7 shots into him, as opposed to placing single shots into your targets. Placing single shots is more ammo efficient, but it does not produce a stopping effect as fast. So with the amount of ammo in a single standard capacity magazine, you are likely to dispatch basically no more than 5 consecutive threats before needing to reload. Simple as. Also, as of 2022, 34% of households in the United States owned guns. We are now up to 45, if I recall correctly. Those are rookie numbers. We have to pump those numbers, chat.
Up around guns, you know how to handle them properly. You should be able to go to a gun range and fire military-grade weapons.
I'm gonna go into this.
I should be able to own military-grade weapons in my fucking house. I should be able to own a Select Fire SIG MCX.
Fresh, thinking, what is the feeling that I'm gonna get from it? Because maybe there is something to like masculinity in guns.
Oh no, I think I know that exact gun range. I have been to that exact gun range. I hate it so fucking much.
If I get to wear a tuxedo and shoot guns, I'm excited.
Okay, that's good energy. I'm kind of on board. This one is at least attempting to become less of a stick in the mud. Tavor, okay. Like, I wouldn't inflict a bullpup as anyone's first experience of a gun, but sure. Basic bitch AR-15, okay.
What? I'll hook it up in here for you.
It is Los Angeles Gun Club. God fucking damn it. I've been to this exact range.
What you gotta do is lock it down
Okay.
and then close it. And I'm ready. This is live. That's live, guys. I'm gonna shoot.
I never thought that an AK could get any uglier, but apparently I've been proven wrong.
The first bullet went off and I jumped. I was not ready for it. There was no like ready, set, go.
All right, here goes nothing.
At least fucking teach them to hold the gun correctly. Like, who the fuck holds a Tavor like that? Like, there's a whole ass grip specifically there for you. I understand that they have female pattern hands and they probably can't C-clasp it correct. Well, fine, Tavors are kind of tall boys. You can't really C-clasp them, but the point fucking stands.
Jesus Christ.
Assault rifles are actually easier to shoot.
These are not assault rifles, you dipshit. Assault rifles are select fire. These are semi-autos. I know that these are not assault rifles because even as an SOT, you can't have a select fire machine gun in the state of California because it's an NFA item. It's what they call a public range. Yes, it's one of the few shooting ranges in LA.
Shoot than handguns. There's hardly any kick because it goes so fast.
It's not because it goes so fast, it's because the rifle is heavier and it also shoots a round that has it either shoots a lighter projectile in the case of a 223 and god fucking I hate this so fucking much. It's also because you have 3 points of contact to the damn thing.
It's easy to forget while you're there that the purpose of these guns is to kill people, and
The purpose of every weapon is to kill people. The original purpose of a knife is to kill people. Are you going to stop using cutlery now? Also 3 points of contact, exactly.
each time you're pulling the trigger, that's another life you
Not really. Based on your shot placement, you probably couldn't hit a vital area.
could be taking.
Okay, could be. Hypothetical, fine.
How you doing? It gives you this real adrenaline that took me hours to come down from.
I think my body went on a high, and I just completely turned into this like very.
Can we just start beating people who hold the vertical grip like that? Like, can we just put out a PSA explaining to people that the vertical grip is in fact not for doing that on rifles? It is designed to be that on shotguns, granted, because you need to do the push-pull to mitigate recoil. But it's a hand stop. You're supposed to use it as a hand stop on rifles. You're supposed to C-clasp and then like your ring and your little finger they rest on the hand stop and they prevent your hand from sliding back as you're pulling the rifle into your shoulder. I hate this so much.
Primitive, basic creature. When you just repeat shoot like that, you're almost afraid of yourself.
Me taking the safety off.
I bet this is like the first time in their entire lives when they've had a registrable testosterone level in their bloodstream.
Could have killed someone.
Let's get a hug. Let's get a hug.
On a basic level, a firearm is a fear machine. You are ape. This makes a loud noise and flash, scary bang bang machine, but you can't run from it. You're forced to confront it. So fight it. Of course, it's very fun. I've profoundly enjoyed shooting guns throughout my entire life, even when I was a child. And mind you, as a child, I had access to, well, okay, I wouldn't say that I only had access to shitty guns. Most of the guns that I had access to were shitty because they were AKs and they're just inherently shit. But I also, like, the first shotgun I ever got to shoot was a Benelli M3, so my standards may be my taste palette may be a little bit shifted there. Fucker acts like we weren't using clubs and rocks before firearms were invented. Annually, more people die from blunt force trauma than from firearms, and that's before we sanitize that for suicides, police shootings, and justified self-defense shootings. Piggyback off of me. Yes, every weapon is designed to kill people, basically. If you're using a club and a rock, you're probably gonna double tap that shit. Well, listen, if it's no longer attempting to stand up, you're mostly safe.
Real quick.
Remington
Does my
870,
cheek bone
okay.
really have to be that close to the gun? And it's not gonna hurt my cheek?
Bring your body forward.
Okay.
Oh, mother of God! This
It-
became like an adult toy. Guns are not toys.
They kind of are, and they're kind of cool. Uh, yeah, listen, shotguns kick like a motherfucker. That's why shotguns are not an advisable tool for home defense, by the way. Like the limited capacity, the borderline unmanageable recoil for anyone who's, just below an adult male size. Like that is the reason why that doesn't work. Shorty, is it a short? Oh, it's shoddy as in shotgun. Okay. Like I keep my Benelli unloaded because right, my Benelli is a range toy. Like, in case someone tries to kick down my door, I have a superior platform for my home defense rifle. Benelli mentioned. Oh, the dry fire. Excuse me. Thank you, Crispian. Let me go get it. Just a second. I'll be right back. Okay. But on the subject of shotguns for home defense, recoil is manageable. That is very true. However, the capacity is shit. Full size, adult-sized men, like most present company, should be more than capable of handling the recoil of such. The problem is that you've at most have, like, what, 5 in the tube and 1 in the chamber? And shotguns aren't really guns that you want to store with 1 in the chamber, so that means that you're pretty much limited to 5 shots. And like I don't trust myself with the manual of arms of racking the shotgun or running the action for every shot under a stressful situation. So like I'm extremely kind of freaked out by that. Granted, if you hit anything, you're definitely taking a chunk of shit out of that. But conversely, I have my 300 Blackout rifle, which is easier to get shots on target with. I have 30 whole shots to send hate down range. And my reload process is significantly easier, especially with a magazine coupler. So I do bang, 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 and I do that 30 times. I'm definitely hitting something with a degree of accuracy that competes with the shotgun, especially at the length of a corridor. Because, the spread of even buckshot is not going to be that large out of a shotgun over a range of like, I don't know, fucking 7 yards. So I have more shots. Realistically, my temporary and my permanent cavity from 5 shots of 300 Blackout is going to be comparable to hitting someone with a wad of buckshot, if not more. So listen, there's a reason why it's a modern platform. Even at 8 on longer tubes, you still have little space for every, yeah, basically. So I respect the shotgun as a platform. I'm not willing to run one. Like, I have a semi-auto shotgun. I still don't trust myself to make full use of it, just because loading it is extremely complex motor patterns. Like, I've practiced my reload drills. I can reload them fairly competently, just off of the sidecar. I still much prefer the reload motion of a rifle where I just drop the magazine and pop a new one in every 30 rounds, rather than having to be cognizant of having to feed the shotgun shot for shot every time I shoot it. And that's with a Benelli. That's with a Benelli with a 7-round tube, with 1 in the chamber, and the capability of ghost loading it. It's great on ranch land, though. See, on distances of ranch land, I would also prefer a rifle. Like, I would like something with a rifle barrel. Because, And mind you, then you have to deal with shooting slugs, which is not nice on a variety of metrics. Even rifled slugs aren't that accurate at long distances. Like, at that point, I'd rather just have a rifle with a longer barrel. Ranchland is where those extra sexy 20-inch ARs get juicy. Yeah, exactly. That's when you get to break out the DMR with the fucking LPVO optic. Stable to horse range? Oh, less under 100 yards? Well, still, for under 100 yards, I would still prefer a rifle to realistically hit anything man-sized. For all of the same reason. Like, I don't want to attempt to make precision shots out of a smoothbore.
Every time, it's like punching me in the arm. Now that I've done it, I get it. It's exhilarating.
I feel that power.
It's like I'm turning into an animal. I'm gonna try and shoot this guy in the nuts. Who does that?
They're actually discovering what it feels to be male at the ripe age of their fucking late 20s. So what would be an optimal situation for a shotgun over other firearms? Short range, crowd control, maybe. Shooting outdoors and being the point man of like a breacher team. Black powder apocalypse. That is actually true. Reloading shot. I would say when you need a more flexible do everything platform. Shotguns are better for hunting certain prey because you have a wider range of ammo that you can feed it. Like you have your choice of birdshot, buckshot, slug, as opposed to the somewhat limited round variety that you have in rifles, which is basically, you know, full metal jacket, bowtail, hollow point. Shotguns are versatile at dealing with one hitting immediately. Yeah, basically. See, in the old meta of people break like 1 to 2 people breaking into your house, the shotgun was more viable. In the current meta of the raiding party usually being an upward of 5 people, like the shotgun, how should I put this? The shotgun is a very competent platform. It requires significantly more training to be as effective as an AR. Like, I'm not saying that the shotgun is a bad platform, especially for dealing with like a semi-auto platform like the Benelli or like the Beretta A300. I don't trust myself to correctly feed it under pressure. You have to gamble on the mess you make on target 1 to fully deter target 2. Yeah, basically it's whether see, I don't think that the how should I put this? I don't think that the deterrent effect between hitting the first ruffian with a wad of buckshot is on his compatriots is materially different from hitting him with several rifle rounds center mass. Like, none of those are pleasant feelings to be on the receiving end of. Like, 300 blackout, even suppressed, like, you know you're getting shot at. And if you see one of your boys go down, like, there's no honor among thieves. Like, they're scattering like fucking cockroaches. Is it more gutturally satisfactory to just canoe a dude's head clean off? Sure. But I need to do a hell of a lot more training with my shotgun before I'm willing to roll the dice there. And again, like, storage is also a consideration. 12 gauge shells are susceptible to decaying over time under pressure. That's just a matter of fact because they're made of a soft polymer. You would offer that you have to be willing to pay to shampoo the carpet. Nah. There's no shampooing that. The carpet has to go. That's irreparable damage. Unless you want to just hang it outside of your house as a warning with a sign that says nothing inside this house is worth your life. Now that I
How many times am I shooting this?
Now that I think about it, that would go extremely fucking hard. You just cut the bloodstained part of the carpet, you hoist it up on a flagpost near a sign that says nothing inside is worth your life. Do you think the HOA would be too scared to come and confront you about that?
And all I could think of while I was shooting is, oh man, I hope I'm out of bullets.
Okay.
The biggest revolver that's commercially made. Whoever gets
The 500 Smith & Wesson is a hazing exercise. I've shot those. It's not great.
the closest to the red dot will not have to pay for dinner.
It's like playing around a golf with weapons.
Exactly.
You feel the recoil is too much for you, let it go over your head. Do not fight it, because it will come back.
So you can punch yourself in the face.
Yeah, don't do that.
As much as you like tormenting them, why would you torment someone with that? Exactly. Go to the Vlad the Impaler route. have a skeleton graveyard in your front yard. I believe tampering with a body is illegal, Trash Gamer. So we're a law-abiding channel.
Don't stand directly behind it.
Wow, it is heavy. Who do you think will be the worst from what you?
You know what sucks the most about fucking Smith & Wesson 500s is that the grip is so short, it's not even enough to grip it properly with your grip hand. Well, the first two anticipated recoil a little bit too much. The other one limp-wristed it.
That was terrifying. Keith wins. I'm really glad I did it. I've not done it so many times because I was afraid, but I faced my fear, and I think it's totally fine to shoot any kind of gun in a gun range because that's the place you go. You play golf on a golf course, you shoot guns in a gun range.
First thing I said when I held the gun.
Well, you shoot guns in a gun range unless someone visits upon you a situation where you need to shoot guns in your home.
Was I turned to Ned and I said, take a photo
Or in the street.
of me. And all I can think of is I'm desperately trying to.
I didn't think you ever want to be in a situation where you're thinking, I hope I'm out of bullets. Well, listen, I think this is the first time in their lives where they've registered the fact that they have testicles. I think Notary made that joke earlier.
To compensate for something.
I get it. I now
You guys may have a lot to compensate for. I'm not even going to argue with that sensation that you felt.
get it. I didn't get it, and now I get it. Guns are really fun.
It changed me. I don't think that I'm
Haven't you shot guns before?
as pro-gun as I used to be.
In terms of actually feeling more manly from shooting a gun, I don't think I'm.
No, that's dumb. You're not supposed to feel more manly from just any isolated activity.
More of a man.
The experience didn't turn us into men, it turned us into boys.
I might have kids one day. There's no way.
With that T count, very unlikely, my guy. Those are definitely not going to be your kids. I would advise a DNA test.
That my kids are responsible gun owners. An accident is bound to happen.
The men.
No, an accident is not bound to happen if you have your redundancies in place.
Were the people at the gun range who really knew what they were doing.
Like, my rifle sits in administrative storage. That means that it has a round in the chamber, it's set to safe, it's staged by my bed, and 0 accidents over the course of 3 years ever since I got it. Also, if you're walking in the middle of a park in broad daylight, getting the hardest R thrown at you, you don't know. Well, see, getting the hardest R thrown at you just in isolation isn't grounds for using lethal force just yet. However, people who are likely to do that in broad daylight are very likely to provide a reason to use lethal force very shortly after doing that, so that's fair.
I respect that.
I guess my takeaway today is that the whole thing's a little more complicated. I see why people like it.
No, it's not. It's not that complicated. It's not that deep. It very clearly says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. No, I want to know the beautiful irony. Always, Trash Gamer.
It doesn't necessarily change the way I think, but it does shade it in a little bit.
I think that if you guys got into lifting weights for like a good 3 to 5 years, fixed your diet, like maybe excluded unfermented soy, added some red meat. Fuck, I mean, this late in life, they probably have to go on TRT. Then their opinions may change.